I'm Jim Csek. You're watching KelownaNow with me, Christian Martinez. So we're going to promo the big show coming to the Penticton SOEC Centre, FMX riding. It's kind of amazing to watch that stuff. And you've been riding for how long?
I've been riding dirt bikes for about 25 years and jumping ramps for 20.
Wow. I mean, it looks so smooth when you guys do it. You know what I mean? Like you go up and it just seems like you're landing on a pillow, but I don't think most of us would land on a pillow if we tried it, right? It'd be more of
Yeah,
a
I mean,
gravity thing.
we have lots of experience. So, of course, when we ride it, we make it look super easy. And the average person sees it and they're like, oh man, I could do that. It looks like nothing. But
Yeah.
when it comes down to actually doing it and you break it down and you go and just jumping that ramp is something.
It's a lot of timing, right? Because you got to land and then the slope and everything kind of like absorbs the impact and everything like that, right? So,
Yeah, and like when you hit those ramps, you got to hit them with a lot of throttle, so the bike just wants to naturally backflip as soon as you hit that thing. So
yeah.
the backflip is one of the easier tricks to do because you just kind of let it go and it just flows around,
Uh,
you know. On all the other tricks, you're fighting to keep that front end down and then doing your tricks.
Dangerous though too, because we had a local rider that ended up being a quadriplegic with, like I think he tried to do a quad flip. I can't remember exactly on Bruce.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that
so
was terrible. That was Bruce Cook, I believe, at
yeah,
the
that's
Nitro
correct.
Circus in Hamilton. He
Yeah.
was doing a double front flip and yeah, it's very, very dangerous sport. We try to be as positive as we can, but we do know the risks that we're taking when we do this. And a lot of safety measures have been changed since that injury. I do think that since that happened, they really introduced these airbags more into shows, and it just allows us a safer environment to really push ourselves and put on a better show and
Yeah.
not unnecessarily risk yourself because that's such an unfortunate situation that
And I'm going to
Bruce is
correct
in.
myself. I think he's a paraplegic because they strap him on a bike now, so he's still jumping. So
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica this last winter riding some events, and sure and behold, Bruce Cook came out and he pulled a backflip. It was
yeah,
amazing to see.
wow. So big show in Penticton. That's what November 20.
November 30th, it's
No,
this Saturday.
yeah.
We've got 8 riders from across Canada that are coming to throw down, all Canadian riders this time. A lot of big names coming too, a bunch of locals, and I came from the East Coast, so I'm the East Coast guy.
Yeah, so you guys travel around and do this show, I take it, right? So it's in, like you say, you've been around the world, right, doing this stuff. So kind of
Yeah,
a cool lifestyle too, I guess.
yeah, it's pretty neat. Like this is basically my childhood dream, and just a lot of determination and a little bit of stubbornness. Going through injuries and dealing with that sort of thing. You just got to keep on pushing and think of the big picture, and you really have to visualize where you want to go and how you're going to accomplish these goals.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously you started out as a dirt bike racer, I guess.
No, never. I never raced. I'd go to the tracks and I'd just do the biggest jump. I would look for the jumps and I just hit the jumps and I just have fun doing heel clickers and whips and the jumps just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then I started building ramps and then yeah, when I
So
turned 30 is
you guys
when I
practice
turned
in.
30.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, when I turned 30 is when I decided like, hey, this could be a job. If I backflip and I have ramps and I go around and work the business side of it, this could be my job. So now I'm 40 and making it happen. It's crazy.
It's a pretty cool job traveling around the world doing what you love, right?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Um, you guys practice kind of in foam pits and that too, I guess, when you're starting out, so that you're kind of like, I guess, crashing just to kind of like figure out what's going on in the air, right?
Yeah, well, I learned pretty much all the tricks that I do to dirt. And then when I went to go take the step and learn the backflip, I went into the foam pit.
Yeah.
And it took me about 50, 60 jumps in the foam pit. And back in my day, when you learned how to flip, you had to go and do it to dirt because we didn't have these airbags. So
Wow.
the uh, the mental barrier to overcome to go and pull that trick and be confident that you're going to nail it was pretty serious.
So lots of timing though, right? Because you got to kind of time your speed, you got to time your lift,
Yeah.
and then you got to figure out what you're doing in the air as well, I guess, right?
Yeah, especially with the backflip, because if you pull a little bit too hard, it'll over rotate easily, and if you don't pull hard enough, then you could under rotate. So definitely that's what I was figuring out in the foam pit, is just the timing of that and the
Yeah.
distance and yeah.
So you ride with a crew. I take you said 8 riders there. Is that crew kind of stick together and go to different places, or are you seeing different guys show
Well,
up at different?
I've met a few of those guys out here in BC, and one of the guys, Alex Nixon from Fort McMurray, he came out to Toronto and rode a bunch of shows with me and practiced. And I went out to Kyle DeMello's place too about 5 years ago. I met all those guys. Chris Nolan is pretty awesome.
So November 30th, big show. And what can fans expect to see? We got the graphic up there. Saturday, November 30th. At the pit party starts at 4 to 5:30, and the big show starts at 6 o'clock, and that's in the South Okanagan Events Centre. And that's a great venue as well.
Yeah, it's a nice big venue. 4 p.m. we're going to be able to have a pit party. We're going to meet all the kids, sign autographs, get everyone all pumped up. And then 6 p.m. the show's going to start. You're going to see lots of huge variety of tricks, because this is one of the best shows of the year. We've got lots of really talented riders coming with basically every trick that you've ever heard of in freestyle motocross. You'll be seeing it this weekend.
And you'll feel it in all 5 senses, right? You'll see it, you'll hear it, you'll smell it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and the vibrations will run through your body, right? It's pretty cool, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's that's one thing that got me into it when I was a young kid. I remember seeing my first freestyle show. It was Jason Thorne, and he just the sound of the bike and the tires hitting the ramp, and then you just see boom, they just fly up there 40 feet in the air. It's just incredible to see.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to seeing you make those big jumps. And all I can say is, like, it's a great party. I've seen it a few times, and I go to see it every time I can. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I love it. So much, even more fun to be hanging off that bike when you're flying through the air.
I'm going to pass on that at my age. I don't need any broken bones. It's, I imagine it looks easy. Like I said, it looks easy when you guys are doing it, but I know that there's a tremendous amount of risk that comes with it. And I mean, that's what makes it a show too, right? So.
Well, I mean, the way I think is, practice makes perfect, but nothing's perfect in my eyes. I'm always trying to perfect it, even taking it to the extra level, So
and you guys push each other
repetition is key.
Yeah, you guys push each other with different tricks, and you're always learning something new too. And I imagine, somebody does something, you're just like, how can you expand on that? How can you make that a little cooler and stuff like that?
Of course. Like in a show like this, if someone goes and does the trick that I was just about to go do, well, I'm going to have to think outside of the box and try to put a little different variation of that trick, so that way it looks different,
It's like the Olympics, right? You got to do something a little better, a little bigger and better every time, right?
You have to. It's 2024, and the sport has gotten to such a level now that it's just.
Here's my campaign for you. It should be an Olympic sport. It's entertaining, right? It fills stadiums, right? So why wouldn't it be, right?
Definitely is. I think it's a motorized sport, so I think that's what kind of separates it from the Olympics. But they did bring in BMX to the Olympics now, so who knows? And skateboarding as well.
You got to be in pretty good shape to ride too, right? You're hanging on to a beast,
you got to be strong.
Yeah, it's a beast you're hanging on to.
Those bikes weigh a good 240, 250 pounds, and you're throwing that thing around like it's a small little bicycle, like it's nothing. So you got to be in shape, and you got to have good cardio, and you got to be strong.
Not an easy ride. Well, thank you, Christian, for taking some time with us. And again, the show, we're going to run the clip, the promotion clip, right? We'll go out with that clip, and you get your tickets, you can go online and do all that stuff. And it's a great show in Penticton. Thank you again, Christian. We're going to run this clip, and we'll close out with that.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
You betcha.
Freestyle motocross fans, get ready. The FMX FMX World Tour. The hottest show on the planet is coming to Penticton, South Okanagan Events Centre, Saturday, November 30th. Don't miss the top freestyle riders in the world, performing backflips and more, competing for the title. Tickets on sale now at the South Okanagan Events Centre box office or at ValleyFirstKicks.com. The FMX World Tour Freestyle Motocross, Penticton, Saturday, November 30th.
Are we out, Rommel?
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent.